Uh, man. Hey, Manuel. I figured you might be in bed, Manuel. From Berlin and Christy Jones. Is Christy Jones new? And Cindy Conway. Says I got 9 on here, but I only see 3. Oh, there he comes. Steve Smith, Lisa, and Scrap and Crash. I got back about, oh, 2 hours ago from Orlando, seeing my brother. Was only going to stay the one day, but got to studying about it, given my age and his age and our health and everything. It may be the last time I ever get to see him. Uh, I am really sad to see his health condition. I knew he was worse than me, but I had no idea it was that bad. Uh, I'll be, yeah, Christy Jones says she's new. Well, I appreciate you, dear. Christy with a K. Uh, and Canadian girl. So I didn't get to do my live yesterday, and I was really uptight about being there, it being a COVID-19 hotspot. And I did not leave the hotel room one time. When I went in there Friday, I didn't come out till about 11 o'clock this morning. Me and my brother both. Now my niece, his daughter, uh, and her son, which he'd be my great nephew. They went to SeaWorld and they went to Busch Gardens and a couple of other things. Uh, our hotel, our room was right across the street from SeaWorld, and I got to see the fireworks Friday night, and I got to see the fireworks Saturday night right there at the window. You could sit there at the window and watch it. We was on the 3rd floor, I believe. So I enjoyed it, uh, but I'm so glad I got to see him. But it's just so sad. And he was always a hard worker. But he walks real slow with that walker. I mean, I'll be making a video of my visit, and you'll see what I'm talking about. And we this morning I told him to come in the bath. They have a real neat mirror there in that bathroom, and I had him stand in front of the mirror and take a picture of us. And I think my niece put a picture of me and him together. We stopped at Sonny's Barbecue this afternoon and had dinner. He loves Sonny's Barbecue. And and his daughter, uh, I, they remind me much of me and my daughter. I understand how irritated George gets with his daughter. Uh, and he's to the point. I I got scared every time he got up to go because he's so feeble. And now he's young. He's younger than me. I was born in 1941. He was born in December of 1943. And he's just, man. It just seems like yesterday almost that he he had he had two things that he was doing. Well, 10 years he ran the cafeteria for a college in Richmond. And he did all the meal. Him and his wife did all the meals and all that stuff for the college for about 10 years. And then right after that, and during all that time too, he had another business that he was running. That was a janitorial service. And but after that, he went to work for a funeral home, and it was his job to go out and pick up bodies of people that had died. And in the state of Virginia, it's different. The county morgue don't go out and pick up accident victims and crime victims and dead bodies and all that stuff. The funeral homes do. And he had to go. He would have to go out like on the highway when there was an accident and somebody was killed, and he'd have to go pick that body up and clean it up, or not clean up the body, but clean up the stuff that's involved with that. And he would take them to the funeral home and take them to wherever they take them in there and put them on the table or whatever it is. He'd have to remove the clothes, and I don't see how he stood it. And but he did that, and he was also some kind of manager at a food bank. And it was his job to go around to all the different grocery stores and stuff and get the food donations and stuff, and bring them back and put them in the freezers and all that stuff. A lot of it was frozen, was meats and stuff. And hey Christy, doggone, I see you there, dear. Who else do I see? But that's what he did. And he started going downhill. And one day he was bringing food back from somewhere in Richmond to the food bank at Hopewell, and he was pushing a cart up a ramp that was loaded with meat and stuff. And somehow or another, it got away from him and started going back down, and he tried to stop it, and it pitched him down on the concrete. He broke his shoulder, and he rolled down. It was bad. And that's when he started going downhill. And then the funeral home let him go because he wasn't able to pick up bodies and stuff anymore and bring them in and all that stuff. And uh, man, I just, and 4 years of what go, his wife died. he was sitting in the living room in his recliner, and he heard her say something. He heard her say George, and he got up and went in there. And by the time he got in there, she was dead. She just had a heart attack or something. Hey, Marty. I'm doing good. I'm a little bit depressed about my brother's condition. I just tears me up to see him like, especially me being older. I should be the one in that condition if any of us is going to be in that condition because I'm the oldest. But I'm nowhere near that condition, you know. Boy, I got that place on my chin. I didn't realize I was picking at that, but I guess I was. Uh, but I enjoyed the bit. I enjoyed the fireworks. You know, our hotel room was overlooking SeaWorld, and they had fireworks on Friday night and fireworks on Saturday night. Seemed like they had more fireworks on Friday than they did yesterday. But it was right across the street from that, and down the street from Disney World, and down not too far from Universal. And that's the first time I've been to Orlando in a long time. I didn't realize just how much that place is built up. Uh, just, just stuff everywhere. Uh, and it kind of irritated me when my niece would kept getting on him about stuff, and his health is such that he had colon cancer, not colon cancer, prostate cancer, and he had radiation, and they knocked that out. But he said it just knocked out a lot of other stuff on him. He has to wear diapers, and he's just very, very weak, just so depressing. And when I got home a while ago, I got out. He gave me a hug, and they couldn't get out and stay at the house or anything because they had to be back at the airport at 4 o'clock, and that you have to be there 2 hours before the flight's out. So, matter of fact, they're not they've not left yet. Their flight wasn't going to leave till around 6:30, but they'll be home before dark. Which is in Virginia, a little bit outside of Richmond, Virginia. Uh, my neighborhood had more fireworks than the one the city had, and we had a bad shooting down the block. 5 shot, 1 dead. I don't understand these shootings. I just don't. Christy, I appreciate you being here, Christy with a K. Um, and I'm feeling so dead blame guilty that he's like that, and I'm like I am. I feel like I don't know. It just tears me up. And when we first got there to the hotel, it was a pretty long walk from where we got out of the van. And he walks so slow, and I looked at Marcia. I said, "Does he normally walk that slow?" And she said, "Yes, he does." So she went on to the room, and I followed right behind George. Uh, every once in a while, he'd stop and look back, see if I was there. But I won't about to leave him. But my goodness. Of course, this is the first time I've seen him in about 15 years, maybe more. Maybe more. I don't remember the exact last time I saw him. It had to be a last time. I just don't remember. But we talked. We didn't leave the room. We sit in that room, and Marcia kept trying to get us to go out, but we elected to sit there and just reminisce and stuff and talk and take naps, and that's what we did. I made a little bit of that. Tried to get. I don't know how good the videos come out of the fireworks. When I was standing there at the window watching it, that was going on across the street at SeaWorld. But I thought that was neat being able to do that. And of course, I wasn't planning on staying till today, but I just got to thinking there was really no reason for her to have to rush back yesterday and bring me back here. But and I thought, well, she wants to get out too and do so. So she went to Busch Garden yesterday with her son. Her son's 6 years old, and that little boy drives me nuts. But I'm just not used to. I'm used to my babies and stuff, but I'm not used to that baby. And boy, he's well, he's not mischievous. He's just for me, it was kind of annoying. I was trying to talk to George, and he every once in a while he'd start running through the room there and stuff, and but other than that, he was okay. I just wasn't used to it, wasn't accustomed to it, and trying to see what people are saying. I got 19 in the house, but I sure hated missing doing my live stream yesterday, but I did sit there on the TV, this smart TV, and I did pull up some of my videos and some of y'all's videos and watched them. Me and George did. But he falls asleep real easy. Yeah, that kid was hyper. Now, when kids is like that, they call it ADHD. And all I know is the first word, attention deficit, I guess, something like that. I don't know, they didn't call it that when I was a kid. I was back then we was brats. But yeah, my brother is, and I mean we done some stuff. Well, me and the cousin done some stuff, and George was a tag along, and well, it was that watermelon patch deal that me and my cousin was getting watermelons and busting them open and eating the heart out and going to another and doing the same thing. And George, he was just younger and tag along. And turns out, when me and my cousin went back home, he's the one who had to pay the price for that. He had to work. He had to work all summer for that farmer, for them watermelons that we messed up. Now, we must have messed up a dozen of them. And I think we was 12 or 13. I'm not, I can't remember. But, it's just stuff some boys did. And this little kid, I guess he's my great nephew. He's about 30 pounds underweight. He's 7 years old, or he's fixing to be 7. So he's real skinny. But boy, he ain't lacking no energy. That's for sure. But when we come back, when we left Orlando and got here in Ocala, my brother always liked Sonny's barbecue. He said they don't have none of those in Virginia, and he wanted to stop there and have dinner. So she stopped and we had dinner. And I had a half a chicken plate. And, you know, that's a breast, a wing, a thigh, and a leg. And boy, that sucker was good. Is Willow there? I didn't notice. Hey, Willow. But I enjoyed it. I was nervous. Uh, I wanted to be there and I wanted to be at home. I wanted to get on the computer. Of course, there wasn't no computer for me to get on. I hadn't been away from the house like that in a while. And when I got here, my grandson, my oldest one, he said, "Boy, it's sure been quiet without you." And of course, they didn't. Marcia got out, you know, to get my walker out of the back of the van and stuff, but then nobody come inside. They had to turn and burn to get to the airport in time, you know, so they'd be 2 hours before their flight time. But I'm glad she did it. And Buddy, she's got her hands full with George. I started to call him Daddy. Uh, my goodness. The last thing I told her, I said, I kind of understand your predicament now. But I said, I understand Daddy. I started to call him Daddy again. But I understand George's too. I said, it's really eating him up that he has to depend on you for just about everything now. And when he falls, she's not able to she's pretty heavy herself. And she's not able to pick him up. And they have to call 911 and get somebody out there to get him picked up. Sometimes he has to go to the hospital, and sometimes not. And I can imagine him falling in the shower, buck naked, and his daughter having to come in there and see him like that, and she can't pick him up. And then when the EMTs got there, it's two men and a woman, and the woman and the man picked him up this last fall, and he bruises real easy. Uh, and when we stood in front of that mirror and I had my GoPro on and all that, and we was talking and stuff, and uh, he said, "My God, I look so much older than you," and I don't think he looked so old because I know how he used to look. And George is not, well, we suspect that he is not my full brother. We expect that his daddy is our uncle. Uh, that's another little family story that was going on. Everybody says he's Uncle Jack's kid. We don't know. It's just something we heard and we suspected. And uh, I told him, I said, you know, the only way, I said, I don't really care one way or the other. You're my brother. And he's the only sibling that I have. No, I won't say the only one. He's one of the only ones out of 9 kids that I have any relationship with. Uh, I have a very good relationship with my youngest sister that was born in '63 that was put up for adoption, and we found each other about 6 years ago. I don't have a relationship with any of the rest. Even my sister that lives here in the county, we don't. Well, I don't know. We just don't. We just don't. And I want to go over and spend a day with her one time, and every time I tried something like that, I was told it's not a good time and all that stuff. And matter of fact, Marcia, my niece George's daughter, she wanted to come by my sister's house, Carolyn. She wanted to do that this morning, and me and her and George visited Carolyn's house, and so she said, I don't have her number though. I said, well, I can give you her number, and I know her number. But she called one of my sister's granddaughters and asked did she know if Carolyn was going to be home and all that. And her granddaughter says, well, she don't want no visitors. Said she don't want to see nobody that's been traveling. But that's the way it is every time we call her about coming to something. It's just not convenient. So, and when she told us that, I said, well, I'm not surprised. I said, the last time I want to go see her, it wasn't a convenient time, or she didn't want to do it. And I just said, as far as that goes, she can just kiss my A or my ass. And I told my daughter, I said, if I die, I said, you ain't got to call but a couple of people. And I said, that's my sister-in-law, Annie, and my brother or his family if he's not living. I said, don't you me thinking about calling my sister or anything. Why am I rambling on about this? It's just stuff on my mind. It's just like when my wife died. She died in around right around Thanksgiving or something. No, December something. And I was going to have the service because we had her cremated, and we was going to have a service at the church along about the 12th of December. And my sister told me then, said, well, Max, she called me Max, says, everybody's busy and all that. Why don't you just put it off so we can attend and put it off till January? So I did. And then when the service come about in January, guess what? Not one person, my sister and all of her kids, and they all live right here within about 10 miles of me, did not show up. Not one. So I'm kind of ill towards my sister. And I don't know why she's like that, but she is. Fibromyalgia. Why so many of my subscribers got these health? I guess we all got some kind. Relationships drift apart, and at my age now, I want so much to be involved with them, and but I'm closer to them. Well, it's the same way with my in-laws. We was a pretty good-sized family and a happy family, but when my mother-in-law died, well, it started with my daddy-in-law. I called him Daddy, and I called my mother-in-law Mom. And when they passed away, things just kind of drifted apart. Nothing's been done with the home place up there. Part of it, well, there was 7 children, and nobody could agree on nothing. So and so didn't want so and so to have the place. One brother-in-law said, "I'll give everybody $1,000 apiece and the right to come there anytime they want to and stay or whatever for a visit and everything. But he would own it. And then there was two or three in there, well, I don't want him to own it, And then there was another, and she wanted it, and I don't want her to have it. And the fact is, that place means more to me than it does to any of the kids that was born and raised there. And I mean, when I say born there, they're born in the house. So it means a lot to me, and there's a bunch of them don't want me to have it because I'm not really family, they say. Well, I was family for almost 50 years till my wife passed away, but I'm still family with the one sister, and I suppose with the oldest one I'm family, but not like I am with the Annie, the daughter. She's like a daughter to me because she was like a teenager when me and my wife got married, and she spent a lot of time at the house with me and my wife. But yeah, and with George, I got all these. I don't hold a grudge, Cindy. Well, I guess in the way I am now, because every time I reach out, I can't. I think part of the problem is me being the oldest. I remember things that happened in the family. And there's things a lot of them don't want nobody to know about, but I remember them. And sometimes I try to discuss it to figure out where everybody's mind is out on some things that happen, and they don't like that. So I think maybe because I remember, and it's the same way with George. He remembers a lot of it. And he's kind of the black sheep, and I'm the black sheep. Well, when George dies and I die, they won't have no more black sheep, maybe. But I don't know. It's a dysfunctional family, has been. Maybe that's why I feel so close to my subscriber family, my YouTube family. Maybe that's why I don't know. But it sure, I'll be thinking about George for days now, just saying they may be getting ready to board the plane. Because it leaves in about 4. I don't know. I hadn't been on a plane in years, so I don't know how all that works. I know that my niece said she got a pretty good deal on the plane tickets, and she got a good deal on the hotel where she was staying. And that's. And we're not, my family, the Pearson family's not going to have a family reunion this year because of the COVID thing. And where they usually have it, it's at a summer camp place in Greensboro, North Carolina. It's called Camp Carefree, and it's for handicapped children. But they got a lot of cabins and stuff out there, and we've been having that family reunion there for the last 30-something years. But the camp is not going to let anybody use it now because of the COVID thing. And they're not even having summer camp for the kids. So we're not going to be having a family reunion. It's going to be the first family reunion that's been missed. It's always Labor Day weekend, and it's going to be the first time it's been missed since in the 1930s. So it's been going a long time. So this may be the nail in the coffin, as far as the Pearson reunion going on anymore. And there's 2 or 3 of them that's really been out of shape for not having it somewhere else. So I don't know, and I don't even know which family's time it was to host it. They took it each family. When I say family, I'm talking about all the aunts and uncles. They had a turn, and then the next year it was the next and the next, and so on. So I don't even know whose it was this time. I know it was. I don't even know whose it was last year, but I hadn't been since 1990. Because of my biracial grandson. I didn't want to go there and deal with it because I knew how some of them were. A lot of them were farmers and stuff, and they had black families that worked for them and all that stuff. And I know how they talked about them as I was growing up. So I didn't want to go, and I didn't want nobody trying to make excuses because when they start making excuses about the way things was and the way things were said, they put it in a way that, well, kind of like my barber did. When my first grandson was born and when he started needing a haircut, I asked him, can he cut my grandson's hair? And he said, yeah, I'll cut it, but I don't want you bringing no more of them around. And I'm like, more of what? And that was very derogatory. It was a racist thing to say, and I told him, I said, well, I won't be bringing no more of me around either then. But it's things like that. They say they don't really. A lot of white people don't realize the remarks when they say them what it really means. And so rather than me try to explain to somebody you're being out of line by saying that, they're going to get mad. And so I just quit going. I never took him to a family reunion. I kind of regret it in a way, but I really, really get uh, upset when somebody says stuff. I had a friend of mine one time that said, I was in the country store down the street road from where we lived in Central Florida, and I lived there for almost 30 years. And a friend of mine was in there, and I was talking to some of the other guys in there about my grandson, and I was proud as punch. He was about 5, and he and I had to go out to do something, and this one friend of mine thought I was leaving, and when I come back in, he said, damn, the way Russell talked, you'd think that, whoops, I about said the N word. Don't say the N word on your videos because you won't be able to get it. It will be deemed inappropriate, and you won't be able to get it monetized. So now, what he said, you'd think the way Russell taught, you'd think that N word uh, was white. That's that's what he said. And let me tell you, and I had to come back in just as he was saying that. And the poop hit the fan. I'll tell you that. And man, that guy ain't been friends since, and that's been 25 years ago. I'm friends with his daughter. She's in radiology. She's not the doctor, but she's the technician. But my family's gotten more distant since my mom passed away. Used to get together all the time before she passed away. Maybe it's just the natural order of things for stuff to come apart. Uh, I don't know, but me and George has been close over the years. We've been close. He used to come down a couple of times a year, and he had this janitorial service and that he did, and he was constantly doing carpets and floor stripping and all that stuff. And he used to bring a couple of machines with him and do my carpets in my house. Him and his wife, and they did a bang up job. And every once in a while, I'll re-upholster some furniture here, stuff like that. Uh, feel a little forgotten, and I did try. Sandy, you can always talk to me. Anytime you just want to chat, you want to have a private live stream, we'll sit and chat about anything you want to. And there's Port Spring Poet. Hey, dear, families are complicated, but my gosh, they shouldn't be. They shouldn't be. Dad's gone it, folks. We're all we got. Oh man, I I shudder to think. Boy, I wished I hadn't have did that on my chin. Dad's gone it. I didn't know that till I got back home. Well, I seen something there when I was taking that picture of me and my brother in the mirror at the hotel. That's a neat mirror in there. I told him I want to, because it's kind of like you got a frame around you. You'll see what it is when I run the video. And yeah, mothers do kind of hold the thing together. Um, and it rained every day. Friday, when the my middle grandson took me to the place called the Villages. That was about halfway between here and Orlando, and my niece and my brother picked me up at the Villages, and it once we got going down the road, it started raining, and it rained pretty hard. Then we got out of the rain, then we got into some more rain, and then when we got to the hotel, uh, she laid some food and stuff out. She had all kind of stuff, a lot of stuff. But she had some salad, and I really enjoyed those. And we had like a little refrigerator and a microwave and all that stuff in there. I was surprised at how well equipped it was. It was what do you call it? It's not a Hilton, but a Marriott or something like that. Uh, and plenty to drink, and all they had in there to drink was Cokes, Diet Coke. So I had been drinking Cokes, but they left. Her and that boy left uh, about about 3 o'clock, and they didn't come back to the room till around 10 o'clock. And they was across the street over there at SeaWorld. And of course, I was watching the fireworks out the window of our room, which we had a good view of it. You could actually see some of the rides and stuff, the roller coasters and stuff. So it was pretty neat. And I took videos of it. I'm gonna make a video with it, and I want you to see what kind of shape my brother's in. Oh man, I sure love that boy. He's my baby brother. I got another actual baby brother, but we don't mesh. He elected not to be a part of the family for a lot of years, and now all of a sudden he wants to be. And matter of fact, he went to the family reunion last year, and didn't nobody know him, and he didn't know nobody. He'd never been around any of them since the last time he was around any of them was 1949 at a family reunion. So I don't know why he went. Nobody knew who he was, and he sat at the table with my brother George, and people was, well, who is that? And George said, someone, well, I didn't know you had another brother. They knew me, and they vaguely know Carolyn, but me and George really is the only ones they really know, because we was the only ones really involved with the Pearson family. My sister wasn't, and of course all my half brothers and sisters that uh, are not, they're not like brothers and sisters. I mean, had a little bit of growing up time with them, but they just weren't. They were my stepfather's kids, and it's not that we don't get along. We just don't. I don't know. But enough about that. And I'm gonna tell you what, guys. I am so dadgone thankful that my health is what it is. I was thinking it was pretty terrible, but let me tell you something. I'm be right now 80 years old, my next birthday, but I can get up and I can walk around. Now I fall occasionally, but nothing like George. Nothing like him. And he's diabetic and he has neuropathy and everything, but he's just feeble. So I am so thankful that, and I'm not taking it like ho hum, I'm in bad health, all this. Well, guess what? I don't feel like I'm in bad health anymore. I think, and he had an accident. Let's see, was it Friday night? Friday night, he had an accident, and he has to wear diapers too. And he tried to take care of it by himself and didn't wake nobody. And of course, I wouldn't have known what to do if he had woke me, but he should have woke his daughter up, but he didn't do it, and she didn't find out about it till the next morning, and it was a mess. Uh, and I can see where it's just killing him that he's like he is. Uh, and I'm feeling like, boy, she is terrible to him, but she's in a predicament. It's extremely difficult, and I would get nervous and upset and all this stuff when it was just me and him sitting in the room, and talking and stuff, and he'd get up and decide to go get a drink or something out of the little refrigerator and stuff, and I finally got him now. You need something? Let me get it. But he just scared me to death. Well, I'm scared he's going to fall, and then I'm in a strange place, and I know I wouldn't be able to get him up, and I wouldn't know I wouldn't know. What is that on my? What is that? There's something. What the Sam Hill is that? It looks like, I don't know if you can see it or not. It's right on my left eyeglass lens. It looks like a little 82, but now I can turn this way and it's gone. Hey, cat, get off there. That's Houdini. There she went. But anyway, guys, it's also made me appreciate my YouTube family. And yeah, I've all Port Swing Poet. I have always heard that there's always somebody a little worse than you are. And it's been a wake up call for me. It really has. I've got a whole new, fresh outlook on my life. But in the back of my mind, I think about my brother, and I think about him right now. I don't know if they take him on the plane in the wheelchair. Can they do that in the wheelchair? I don't know, because he is so slow, so slow. He was even slower than my wife was. What in the world kind of reflection is that? It's a number, and it says 022. Now, what is that? That's going to drive me up the wall. And it's right there on that left lens. Where the heck is that coming? That's going to drive me nuts. I need to quit worrying about Dauber. You ain't going to figure it out. I don't think. Anyway, all right, guys. Look, I hate to keep telling people how much I appreciate them, because I don't feel like I'm really showing it enough. The help that I get with my tip jar and super chat and all that stuff, and I just don't want to come across as not really appreciating what we did. Now, me and my brother, he didn't understand about YouTube, and we sit there and we pulled up YouTube on the smart TV there in the room and watching some of my videos. And of course, he went, "Well, how do you do that?" And I said, "Well, it's pretty simple, really, if you're messing with YouTube." And well, how do you get money from that? And I said, "Well, some people give me tips and stuff." And I said, "Now I'm getting ad revenue when the ads run. And when an ad would pop up on one of my videos, I'd say, see me right there, this ad's going to pay me probably about 3 or 4 cents." He said, "Well, that's not much." I said, "Well, you start multiplying it times 100 times, and stuff, it adds up." But he don't do it. Now, he's the one started out with computers before I ever did. And of course, then it turned out that I really got heavy into it, and he don't do it anymore. Uh, he sends messages and stuff, but his daughter does it for him. But I was trying real hard to let her know that I understood her predicament with him now, and while they was talking about a nursing home and everything. And the biggest reason he's not doing the nursing home thing now is because he would have to sign the house over to the state. And they would sell the house, but his daughter's been making the payments on it, and they're not high, and it's super low interest. The payments is only like $182 a month, something like that. And so, but his daughter wants the house, which I don't blame her. She was raised in that house, and the house itself is I think he said 107 years old. But he's had a lot of stuff done to it, and he put in a second bathroom and stuff like that over the years. But I just got a lot of mixed feelings about why he's in the shape he's in and why I'm in the shape I'm in. And the shape I'm in is not so bad. And that's a glass of milk. Glass of milk. I'm sure when we left the room, Marcia said, "I can't take any of this food and stuff on the plane. So you want to take it? You want me to just throw it out?" And I said, "No. So there was like 6 more cans of Diet Coke in there, and I got those. I give those to my grandson quick as I got in the house. Then there was 3 or 4 of them ready-made salads. It's a meal in itself, and I really like those. And got 3 of them, and some other stuff. But that's all me and George did. We stayed in that thing. Your past days in the past. Brother tried to mess with me as a kid, but out in the past, close with him now. Only 2 of us left. When you say mess with you as a kid, who is this? Jerry or Barb saying this? Was you abused sexually, or you want to say? Because we got some of that in our family too. That's what it is. One brother, uh, Pat Baker, commented on a post that year. Tag. Oh, Pat. Y'all don't see that. That just popped up. Pat was the girl that I fell in love when I was 14. I fell in love with that girl. And when we parted for that end of our little excursion we worked together out on my uncle's farm, and I fell in love with her. And when the final night we got to say goodbye, we kissed. And lo and behold, the dauber hyperventilated. I mean, she said, "Are you all right?" I hyperventilated. That was so embarrassing. But she took my breath away. But she's happily married now. I can't. We don't discuss it. Uh, um, well, I don't forgive brothers that do stuff like that, Cindy. And that's exactly why I'm with the brother, one of my brothers. I ain't gonna say no names, but that happened, and I think it goes on a lot in some families. I don't know, but yeah, Pat's she's a sweetheart. Hard to look at her and see her now, and all I can vividly remember is how she was at 14. And her sister was married to my first cousin, and I was told back then when me and that her was girlfriend and boyfriend that her daddy he didn't want no more Pearson boys in his family. I told my cousin Lewis that, and he said, "Well, he didn't want me in there either." Lewis is one that just died a few months back. He had cancer. But anyhow, I guess I'm just gonna forever be more thankful now about my situation and what's wrong with me and what's not wrong with me. But I'm gonna think a lot about my brother. Now I got to sit in and make him a walking cane because he was looking at this one that I made for me. He said, "You made that?" And I said, "Yeah, 2 or 3 years ago." Uh, I almost would have gave it to him, but it was the only one I had with me at the time. But now I'm gonna have to sit in and make him one. Um, they're made out of natural tree bark and limbs, and stuff, and the handles are made out of it. And uh, I'll have to show y'all that one time. But yeah, I'm well aware of my brother now. I'm well aware of why is that light. Why is now I get back like that and it looks like it's flashing. Now I get up here, it don't look like it's flashing. That place looks terrible on my chin. I'm gonna have to put some meds on that. But guys, I appreciate y'all coming by and whoa, what's that say? Something. Who is that? Oh, that's Darlene's. No brother, just one uncle. You know, that goes on a lot. Holy crap. Now I got one lady that's a niece, but she's a niece by marriage. We're not blood related. I mean, we didn't do nothing, but you know, she always had a crush on me. And just lately, she sent me a message. She said, you know, me and you could get married now. Said, you're not my uncle anymore. I said, well, you'll always be my niece to me. But she's about, I guess she's about 67, 68. She's about 10 years younger than me. But it was a learned behavior. Some did it to him because we were both young. It happened a lot in the family. Now I know then I didn't. I can't hardly blame him. Well, I had some kissing cousins now. We didn't do nothing. but but one night we was all sleeping on a pallet together at Grandma Pearson's house. We was downstairs in the living room on the floor on a pallet. And it was me, my sister, and my cousin Ray. It don't hurt to call no names, I guess, because he's dead. And the twins, his sisters, they were twin sisters, Diane and Shirley Ann. And Ray decided he wanted my sister, and he traded me his two sisters, his twin sisters, to me for my sister. And we were sitting there just kissing, you know. We weren't, we might have been 12, something like that. Just at the age you start getting curious. And Grandma called us. Everybody got their tail switched but me. Grandma lost count. She thought she switched all of us, and by the time she realized she hadn't got Mackie, Mackie done scampered his tail up the stairs to his mama. And Mama said, "You ain't switching no kid of mine." So I didn't get a spanking, but the rest of and boy, she'd switch you. You had a keen little old switch. Oh my goodness. And for years after that, anytime we all met, as cousins met, you know, we'd start say, "You remember in the room?" Oh my gosh. And I was partial to them two girls. Diane and Shirley Ann. Uh, Shirley Ann was legally blind, and I always kind of tried to protect her and take care of her and stuff. But they both passed away. Ray's passed away. Matter of fact, that whole leg of that family's passed away. There's nobody left in that family. And their daddy, Uncle Aubrey, he was an alcoholic. And actually, my Uncle Aubrey worked in the White House. And that's kind of deceiving in a way, because yes, he did work in there, but it was when Truman decided that whole thing had to be redone inside, and they had to gut it, and they took all of everything out, just except the walls, and rebuilt it back using the same old stuff. And he was a carpenter in there, so he worked in the White House. That's been a while. That's been a while. Anybody got any birthdays coming up? I don't know if you don't tell me, guys. And Christy, I still need to have a live stream with you, Christy, or Crazy Family. Got some questions. Matter of fact, I'm willing to have live stream with anybody that wants to have private live streams. One time I walked into a big group of kids standing around all naked. They told me to strip or leave, so she left. I don't know what I would have done if that been me. I might have would stripped. I just might have would stripped. Oh, thank you, Jerry and Barb. I appreciate that so much, dear. I really do. Yeah, I'd have probably stripped. I probably would. I wasn't really mean, but I well, there was one time I was mean, and I still feel guilty about that to this day. I felt guilty about it after the day it happened, and I'll tell you what it did. And God don't think no less of me, but I'm gonna be truthful. I had a I had an English teacher, 7th grade, beautiful lady, and her name was Miss G Taz. And I don't know what she was. She looked like she might have been, she was dark complected, but she was beautiful. And somehow or another, us boys got hold of some hot ice. And I got dared to go up there and drop a piece of that hot ice down the front of her blouse. And I did. I got in a lot of trouble over that. Nowadays, that would have been considered some kind of assault, and I guess back then it was, but they just didn't look at it like that. But I got in a whole lot of trouble. I had to write, I don't know how many hundreds of times, I won't drop anything down Miss Utah's dress anymore or something. And I don't know if it burned her or not, but she wasn't a happy camper. She had to leave the room, and when she come back, the principal was with her. And they called this guy in there. I don't know what kind of police he was. I think he was a truant officer. Back then, we had truant officers walking around the neighborhood catching kids skipping school. But I should have had my tail. I mean, they should have busted my butt. I mean, paddled it good. Can I email Marty to private chat at 6 p.m. tomorrow? Yes, ma'am, I sure can. I sure will. And Dwayne, not Diane. What's Dwayne? Dang spell. Is Dwayne on? Dwayne, yeah, there's Dwayne T64. I want to have another live chat with you too, Dwayne. I want to see how you coming along on that remodeling you're doing. Are you procrastinating like I do a lot? Oh, yeah, that I have a lot of guilty uh, thoughts about what I did to Miss G Test, and I loved her. But there I went and done it. And I wouldn't dare somebody to do something that I know was wrong. Like I might dare somebody to try to eat a teaspoon of cinnamon powder or something like that. I would do that. But but yeah, it's just something I did. Uh, oh, you're pricing out some vintage stuff, Darlene? What kind of stuff are you selling stuff? I got some vintage stuff I'm fixing to send uh, to Mary Beth. You know, fantabulous. Of course, I've been sending it for a month now. I don't know if I was a Casanova or not. I just figured out early that if you want to win a girl's heart, you start talking like you really love her and you would love to spend the rest of your life, but you would marry her if you was old enough. You know, stuff like that. And them girls, when they're around 11 or 12 years old, they eat that stuff up. And they still do when they're older. But I figured out one time that it's not make those kind of promises if you're not sincere. But I did that a lot, and I wound up with a lot of girlfriends and all at one time, and I got in a bunch of trouble with some of them. At one time, I got cornered by three of them that didn't know about the other ones. That wasn't a pretty day. But they did. They just, I remember the first girl I ever told her, and she's like, she almost come to tears. You mean you would marry me? Yeah, yeah, sure would. Oh, that was so wrong. That was so play with their hearts like that. And to them, it's real, you know. And the only thing real about it for me was I had another girlfriend. Uh, but I did a lot of things when I was a kid that I shouldn't do. I'm gonna talk about a lot of them. He is so has game. He's just playing shy. Who's playing shy? I'm a big flirt. Well, my daughter tells me I am. My wife always told me that. I don't mean to be. I don't know. I don't know what I'd call that, but yeah. Matter of fact, I flirted with somebody a while ago when we was at Sonny's barbecue having dinner, and this waitress, she's got a mask on and all that. And yeah, I said, I told her, I said, from the looks of your eyes, I can tell you're a hottie. I said, but I can't really tell because I can't see your face, your whole face. And she jerked that mask down and said, am I still a hottie? I said, yes, ma'am, you are. You're gorgeous. And when we was leaving, she told all them other nurses, pull your mask down. Let him see what he thinks. And they did. I got a video of some of that. That'll be on my brother video. Uh, but I hate it when I go into a restaurant or go anywhere and you can't see, all you can see is your eyes, you know. And I'm like, what's under there? Like it's taboo. Yeah. Oh my goodness. But I do. I love the ladies. I love the guys too, but I don't flirt with the guys. But I do love the ladies. But I don't mean no harm. I ain't looking for no romantic, no romantic relationship or anything like. Because I can't handle it. I can't afford it. I can't handle it. Now, if I was still driving, had a car, and had a bunch of extra income, then I could go out, take them out to a nice dinner and all that stuff, and maybe even steal a kiss. You know, I miss not having. Uh, Cindy says I'm playing shy and I am a flirt. Let me put that. Yeah. Hey, I just love it. It's all in fun. But it ain't like it was when I was a kid. I was seriously trying to trick them girls into liking me by telling them I'd marry them and stuff like that when I know there was no way. And who knows? Maybe I meant it in a way. I don't know. I don't know. And you do flea marks and flirt with the guys. Watch me. Watch a while and see if you're getting mad, then talk to them. uh, Lucille, Lucille, where'd it go? Lucille, I'm starting to get jealous because every time I go by there now, there's a stranger's car in the driveway. So I'm like, So I ain't seen her out lately. And of course, the last time I seen it, all this COVID stuff was really getting cranked up, and we kind of kept our distance. But she's still there. Matter of fact, let's see. Tomorrow's Monday. Tuesday, I'll be going by our house again. We'll see what she. Let's see, who is this? Oh, that's Maggie. She's from Guam. Just want to say hi. I saw you live. I'm out doing errands now. Check your email. Love you, dear. I flirt with Maggie too. She flirts with me. Matter of fact, I'm not exactly sure what she said that first time we liked, and I can't remember. I need to dig that up. I think she was flirting with me, or was I flirting with her? I don't know. I don't know. Uh, if we was close by, I'd come see her a lot. And be a nuisance. Sandy says, Sandy says romantic entanglement. Uh, mate. I, even when I was 8 years old, and I don't mean this in a vulgar way or anything, but I had the hots for this little girl named Kirby Kay. And she had to be like a second grader. I think I was, no, wait a minute. I guess I was second grade and she was first grade. And my brother George, the little rascal, he stole her from me. He sure did. That was my brother. Oh, wait a minute, Willow. I might. What do you mean I don't flirt with you? Think I scared him after that grilling and go to hunt? No, you ain't scared me, dear. You just well, maybe you did. Oh man, I love Willow. I love Willow. I just ain't figured out. I ain't figured out her names and stuff. She's got the she's got a real tongue twister email address. I can't remember how it's spelled now. There's something like Ecky Puckney or something like that. Oh dear. And Willa's helped me out a lot. But Cindy says, what do you say, Cindy? Cindy says she's done with the romantic love stuff. I loved hard twice and they both died. I got a Black Widow Whoops. I ain't flirting with you. I know what that Black Widow thing means. Oh my goodness. And Willow says her email is her dad's childhood nick. Oh, really? Well, my childhood nickname was Mackie. My middle name is McLendon, but everybody in the close family called me Mac or Mackie. My sister's Carolyn, one that don't want nothing to do with me. Her nickname was Snooky, Snooky or Key. And I don't know where it come from, and that's been lost in time. My mother knows she's dead. My father knows he's dead. So don't know. But you know, that's another reason I started making videos, because a lot of things that get lost over time that I brought up about family and stuff, and things that me and my cousins did, some of them bad, some of them good. It's there. It's not going to be lost in time, because anybody wants to know, they can go there and start looking at my videos and they can see some of the stuff that I'm talking about. Russell wants to Russell wants to sit in the military. KISSING. Oh, oh, I didn't kill him, but way to build my confidence. By the way, guys, he flirts with me. Bye, everyone. Love y'all. Yeah, I'll flirt with you, Maggie. Yeah, I'll flirt with you any day. Oh, my goodness. I can't get over that. Okay. What was that old saying he used to say? Russell and Brenda sit in the tree, KISSING. And then there was another one. When a girl would accidentally show her bloomers or something, and you'd say, I see London, I see France, I see Patricia's underpants. Oh, Lord. Memories. What about that? And I used to have this thing with my oldest grandson. And let me see if I can make that look. Maybe I'll take my glasses out. Yeah. I would say, let me get rid of that right there. I would look at him. This is when he was about 5 or 6. I'd go like this and stare down at him like that and do my mouth like that. And he didn't like that. And it wasn't long after I found out it was actually scaring, so I quit doing it. My baby, my oldest grandbaby. God, I love that boy, and he don't know how much. We did so much together. I'm so glad I did that 14 years in the Boy Scouts with him, Boy Scouts and Cub Scouts. That was an experience, and that was an experience I wish that I had with my son. I wasn't ready to be a father type. I don't know, but I wasn't ready to be, or I didn't know how to be with my son. And he so much wanted my approval. And I thought I gave him my approval, but in hindsight, maybe not. Where's your email, Grandpa Russell? So email you will chat one. Oh, okay. It is junkdauber@gmail.com, guys. And I swear, you tell me you want to have a live stream, private live stream, we'll have it. And I don't care what time of day or night it is. And Canadian girl, I don't know what timeline you're in, but just figure that. Just tell me whether you want it in your time or my time, and tell me what your time is. My time is Eastern Standard Time. Of course, we're on. I think we're on daylight now, daylight savings. But yeah, I will. I just love it. I love talking to people. Yeah, well, y'all know that. I can. I just love it. My brother couldn't understand. Well, what? Why does people want to watch you? And I tell him, George, I don't have a clue. I said, but I got about 100 and something that watches all my videos, and I've got about 25 or 30 that watch all my videos in my live streams. And he said, I thought you had over 1,000 subscribers. Well, I do, but they don't all watch. A lot of people will subscribe to you and they'll never come back to your channel again. If I had everybody that was subscribed to me coming back watching my videos, I'd be making a pretty good paycheck every month. And I'm probably going to get, I just got a paycheck a couple of weeks back, $142. I was tickled to get that. And one of the last live streams I did, Mary Beth said, well, are you going to get one this month? And I said, well, no. And she said, how close are you? And I said, $69 is what I'm at now. And guess what? She gave me a $40 super chat, and that put me over the top. So I will, because the super chats goes in with my ad revenue too. And your revenue has to be at least $100 before they'll send you a check. So yeah, she put me over the top. And my goal was to try and earn a couple of hundred extra dollars a month so I could do stuff that I want to do, with with everything. And by the way, guess what? My brother, George, he didn't get his stimulus either. And I said, well, why didn't you? And he said, well, I didn't file. I said, well, you don't have to file taxes to get it. And then his daughter said, well, I claim him on my taxes, so that's why he didn't get it. And I didn't know she claimed him as a dependent, because he gets a Social Security check every month, but he don't get it. She gets it. He was sitting there the other night telling me. He said, I don't even have she took my debit card. She took my driver's license. She took everything. He said, but I understand, because she pays the bills. She pays all the bills. She takes care of him. Just like this trip, it didn't cost him $6.26 Eastern currently. And yes, that's right. That's right. I appreciate it, Cindy. I appreciate it. I wished everybody that watched, the videos would hit the like thing. Now, when I go look at somebody's video, it automatically likes it. And I have to go in there. If I don't like it, I have to go in there and automatically click on don't like, which I very seldom do. But sometimes, if somebody gets really nasty and vulgar in their talk and stuff, I will unlike it. But that's not happened often. But there's two or three that you're on Colorado time. What's Colorado? Oh, You're a cutie Canadian girl. Is that you? How you doing? Look at her. That's the first time I noticed that. That is you. Yes, you're a sweetie. Oh, all of your sweeties, even you guys, you're sweeties. Oh my goodness, that's the first time I got to go to your page. Have I been to your page? Let me write that down. You know, this is the first time I've been at my Canadian Girl 345. Oh, I got to turn my. Wow, I hate to turn that thing on. That's so bright. I'm just going to have to run down that 345. Renee. Is that pronounced Renee or Renee? Is that Renee, Canadian Girl? Yeah, is that Renee? Is that the way you pronounce that? Um, my girlfriend's name. Well, that's been many years ago. I can't even remember how she spelled her name, but it wasn't that way. It wasn't. And yes, that's right. Yeah, yeah. Renee. Yeah, okay. I see there. You spell it out for me. Yeah. Yeah, guys, I have a ball with y'all. Y'all know that, don't you? Dadgum, you're such a big part of my life. I couldn't explain it to my brother why. He thought, well, you really like them, don't you? And yes, I do. I surely do. And I said, and they got a thing on there called a tip jar, and some of them tip me and stuff, and leave me super chats. And I had to explain that to him. Well, why do they do that? And he he went through a spell when he about 2 or 3 years, about a year after his wife passed away. And his wife used to tell him, said if she died, he wouldn't have trouble finding another wife. And he said, where in the world would I find another wife? And they were sitting in church, and she said, well, look to your left, look to your right, and look behind you. And she said, I'll bet you one of them, you're going to find one of them, they're going to be in this bunch in here. And she was right. He got engaged. He got engaged to a school teacher, retired school teacher, and it didn't work out. Something. George got prostate cancer, and that scared her off. But she wouldn't give him his engagement rings back. And he said she hadn't offered them back to me, and I wish she would. Said they was expensive. And I said, you want me to talk to her? He said, well, you do whatever you want to, but I watched her church services on the internet, and I knew who she was. And I looked up, and I could get her email, and I sent her an email, and I told her, since she broke it off with George, don't you think you ought to give him those rings back? And boy, she's let me know ain't none of your business and blah, 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 blah. And then I thought about it, and I sent her email back. I said, you know what? You're right. It's none of my business. I said, if George wants his ring back, he can tell you he wants them back. So that was it. I apologized to her, and that was the end of it. But a couple of weeks later, she come driving up to George's house with a friend and had him called him out the house to come out to the car, and she gave him those rings, and she said, "This is my witness that I gave you your rings back." And you got to understand this, they all go to the same church. And by the way, my brother George is the oldest living member. In other words, he out of all the church members, and they have a couple of thousand in that church, he's been the member the longest. He's been a member he's been a member for 51 years. And when my cousin Lewis died, it passed to George. Lewis was the oldest one. Not in years, but the oldest, the one that's been there the longest. It's a nice church. I do regret getting on her about that, but George was all hyped up about that relationship, and George kind of talked me into that. Poppy Allen finally woke up and is watching now. This weekend wiped him out. What are you talking about, Christy? What knocked you off feet when you walked in the door? What did I miss here? That's going, and I get to running my mouth sometimes and I miss stuff. What? Who was so happy? Who knocked you off? Speak up. Maybe she'll speak up, maybe she won't. Christy's a hottie too, but she's my granddaughter, so I can't be calling her a hottie. I love that lady so much. I was trying to explain to George about Crazy Family. I know he's not going to went up north. Poppy stayed at a hotel with an outdoor pool. Yes, oh, you went up north. Oh, okay. I went down south. And, it really surprised me how much when Disney World when it became known that Walt Disney was going to build Disney World there in Orlando or Kissimmee, that place exploded. Land just quadrupled. And Orlando has exploded. There is so much there. And Orlando was just a small town. But it's not now. It's not now, and all that. I was just amazed a while ago when we was coming out of there. The first thing I see, of course, is SeaWorld there, and then down the road is Disney. There were several other, Universal, and I think Busch Gardens is at Tampa, though, if I'm not mistaken. I can't believe she drove over to Tampa to go to Busch Gardens. That was Saturday. And she didn't get back to the room till 10:30. And I told Georgianne, I said, Alan did a lot of swimming, and the puppies were beside themselves because they couldn't go. They don't like fireworks, so Rihanna had to share their soggy sitter. Oh, yeah, well, I got to see fireworks. Y'all see it in my video that I'm going to put up about my brother video. I watched a little bit of it Friday night. Seemed like they had more fireworks Friday night than they did Saturday night. You know, it's right over across the street there at SeaWorld. And I didn't know they did fireworks like that too. Like, you know, Disney does it every night when they're open. And they're fixing to open back up here in about, I think, the 7th. They're going to open on the 7th. So maybe things is kind of getting back to normal, you know, but I don't know. The politics is coming on, and fireworks don't bother my dog. She hears it when out here when people do it. Of course, I wasn't here last night, so I don't know what was going on. But I felt that there was a salad that my niece brought in there. They're pre-made and they're in containers, but I didn't realize them things were so good. Last night I ate one probably about 6 o'clock. And of course, it was just me and George there. And then when Marsh and the boy got back, it was 10:30. And I knew she was fixing to have one, so I had me another one. I love those kind of salads. Plus, you know, what I don't understand, I didn't have my teeth with me, but I was able to chew that lettuce and stuff up. Man, that was good. And I got 2 or 3 of them in there in the refrigerator right now that she can't take that stuff on the plane. So she said, "You want this? You want me to throw it out?" And I said, "Shoot, no. I'll take it home." And I took home about 6 Diet Cokes, but I immediately gave them to my grandson because that's all we had to drink in there was Cokes, you know, or water. And I thought the water belongs to the hotel, and I think if you drink it, they charge you. I'm not sure how that works. They charge her $12 a night just to park her car on their lot. I didn't know, boy. What about that? $12 a night. Holy crap! Have I been talking that long, guys? You know what? Y'all keep hanging around. I'm okay. I'm gonna keep on yapping. I hadn't got the yap lately. But yeah, six. Let's see, 6 p.m. tomorrow. Tomorrow's Monday. I thought I had an appointment. No, my appointment's the 9th. That's Thursday. I got a podiatrist appointment on the 9th. And but I'll tell you what, you know, at that room, that hotel, the shower, man, to die for. It's just gorgeous. But you know why I didn't take a shower while I was there? Because boy, that would have been so nice. Had all these bars and had that trigger shower head that you could pull and all that stuff. Because I knew when I got undressed, I was gonna have to take my socks off, and I can't put my socks back on, and I didn't have my little apparatus that I used to put my socks on, and I didn't want to have to ask my niece to put my socks on. So that's why I didn't take a shower. But I sure would like to got in that sucker. And they had a hot tub. I didn't know that till this morning. Because when we woke up, I woke up about 6. My niece, my brother woke up along about the same time I did, and my niece woke up about an hour later, and she decided I'm going to go down to the hot tub for about an hour. And I'm like, a hot tub? So I would like to took advantage of that. But I don't think when you got high blood pressure and stuff, you're not supposed to get in them things. I always heard that. Oh, matter of fact, when when I had my pool built in 1989, it was in-ground pool and it had a hot tub in it and all that stuff. And I was warned about it then, if you got to watch it, if you got high blood pressure. And I don't know if I did or not, but I was warned about it, and they was warning my wife about it. And man, sometimes at night I'd go out there and just turn the bubbles on and kick back and soak. Wonderful. It was wonderful. Uh, I wish they're still there. The house ain't there. House got burnt down. But the pool's still there, and it's full of green water, and the hot tub's full of green water, and there's frogs in it. There may even be some fish in it. I don't know. It's still there. Thins of blood or something. That makes sense. That makes sense. CDB. What CDB you are? I've been to Disney, but back when I was going to Disney, I could get a season pass for $35 a year for one person. And I used to give my employees Christmas presents, and it would be the 3 season salute passes, and what that means is they can go for 90 days a year to either Epcot or Disney. And but it was only certain months you could do it, and usually the slow months is during the summer. I think the slow months is like February and April and July or something, but you couldn't go during the winter months because that's the fast season for that down here. But $35 a year, and now you you can't even get in one day for $35. It's over $100 just to get in one day. But that my employees sure like. We used sometimes we'd all get together and go at the same time. But them days is long gone, long gone. All right, guys. I'm talking long enough. I ain't gonna run it in the ground. Still 21 of you there. Nobody said anything about birthdays. Canadian girl, junkdauber@gmail.com, folks. And all y'all remember that. Junkdauber@gmail.com or junkdauber@gmail.com. Don't get that out or it won't get here. And Carjoy, I really enjoy your comments, dear, that you leave. I really do. And some of you people, you start apologizing because you get on me about stuff. Well, gosh, don't worry about that. Get on me. And I usually I deserve every bit of critique I get. Especially about how I don't take enough precautions with the sanitizer and the gloves and all that stuff. And I got me a pair of gloves ordered from Amazon. I am going to start wearing gloves. But anyhow, I'm going to send an email, Christy, to y'all for 6 tomorrow night. And Canadian girl, if you want to do that, just send me an email and I'll get back with you. But when you send the email, Canadian girl, tell me what time you want to do it. The time that's best for you, your time. And we'll work it out, and we'll be safe. And maybe I won't flirt. Then again, how you doing? Oh my goodness, Lord have mercy. Who is Phyllis Gagney? Who are you? Phyllis Gagney, are you new, dear? Phyllis Gagney, who are you? That's a new one on me. Anybody know who Phyllis is? I know that's a new one. See you later, Christy and Marty. Yeah, you guys, don't forget to like and subscribe. Come on, Phyllis, who are you, dear? There's Wiggleman. Phyllis ain't talking. Oh, it's your mom? Ooh. Well, maybe I'll flirt with your mom. Phyllis Gagney. So glad you stopped by, dear. And I'll tell you the same thing I told your daughter. You want to talk, have a private live stream, we'll have a private. And believe me, folks, these private live streams, what it is I'm on one side of the screen and you're on the other. And we just talk like we're sitting here across from each other. And anything you want to talk um, about your life, it don't matter. Just because I love meeting people, and it's just a nice way to get to know each other and get to know, like, if you help stuff. I'm no kind of support. I don't look at me as that, but I do like to know about you, and it helps me to know that I'm not in this boat alone. And you need to know you're not in it alone either. If you need somebody you just want to talk to, and I don't give a dang what time it is, because my time is free. And I hope I've got lots of time. I'm on borrowed time, I can tell you that, because I'm already 4 years past my life expectancy. My life expectancy was 76, so I'm on bonus years, and I want to use them to great advantage. Okay, girls and Phyllis, I appreciate you stopping by. I hope you liked and subscribed to me. And you can leave comments on my videos. And sometimes my videos ain't worth 2 cents. And sometimes I think they're pretty good. I got some old ones I want to rerun again, but if I try to run them like they are right now, YouTube won't run them. So I have to change them a bit. So anyhow, I'm almost 2 hours. So guys, I'm going to be out of here. I love all of you. Canadian girl, send me an email, and your mama too. And Phyllis is a subscriber to Crazy. Oh, is she? Okay. I'm a subscriber to Crazy Family. Crazy Family is the one that really gave me a boost on my subscribers when they did that thing about me being their adopted grandpa. I wound up with about 300 new subscribers off of that. And, they could probably get me another 300 if they wanted to push it. Because they've got way more. I think they only had like 4,000 subscribers or something when they done that. But anyhow, guys, Carjoy, Dan, Cindy, Canadian girl, Gwen, Gwen Oxidine. That's another new one. Who is Gwen Oxidine? Gwen Oxidine. I don't believe I've recognized that one before. Gwen Oxidine. Gwen, I appreciate it, dear. What's the buffering saying? I appreciate it. Canadian girl, subscribe to them too. That might be how you found me, Canadian girl. Y'all all have a wonderful night. I'm gonna get and Gwen Oxidine, please subscribe. and give me a shot. I can't. Okay, folks, I'm out of here. I'll catch you on the next one. I'll have a video up tomorrow, my brother's video. And then I'm back to doing my regular line of stuff Tuesday morning. Yeah, that's how she found me too. See all the wonderful people that Crazy Family got me? Amazing. Absolutely amazing. And I'm sure if the rest of their people knew it, I could probably get another 200 or 300. But anyway, guys, I'm out of here. So long. Sayonara. I'll be the same. Goodbye. Hasta la vista. Good night. I love you.